the three important things that you have to remember about managing profitability, whether you're a big store, small store, high-tech, low-tech, or anything in between, are this. Number one, pricing rules. If there is any vehicle for profitability that you have to manage, if there's one thing that distinguishes the great marketing businesses from the not so great, it is that they are constantly reminding the consumer, here's why you pay us what you pay us. They are constantly investing in making certain that they don't strip away their ability to provide those mission-critical services that justify the prices that they're charging. Why? Because costs can't fall fast enough to make up the difference. And there just isn't enough volume to go around. There is absolutely no way you can control profitability in the face of constantly falling prices. Second, quality is not free. Everything we give the customer in order to justify our prices comes back to haunt us in the form of higher costs. And so the difference between great marketing and not so great marketing businesses is great marketing businesses know what are the good costs and what are the bad costs. What are the things I am prepared to spend on? Why? Because they help me to defend my prices. They help me to secure volume. What are the things I don't want to spend costs on are the things customers will take anyways. They just won't reward me for them. Third, it's all about relationships, and in that sense, not all volume is equally good or equally bad. Some customers, you probably can think of them now, you love when you see them. You love when you see them because they're constantly giving you business. You love when you see them because you know exactly what they're looking for. You know exactly how to put a smile on their face. Other customers, all you know about them is they're only yours as long as your price tag has the smallest number available to them. They'll switch suppliers in a heartbeat. In fact, some of them probably come to your store, buy specials, and then go to another store to buy a different set of specials, the so-called cherry pickers. Or they'll come to your store, scout out what's available, and then they'll buy it online from some discount operator. Even though they're giving up the personal service, they don't mind doing it because they're saving a couple of cents. That customer we don't care about. That customer, any money you spend to secure them is what we would call a very, very bad cost. Why? Because you just can't make it back doing business with them. Think about it this way for a moment. Anybody here ever been involved in a high-maintenance relationship? At a personal level, that is. Sure. Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it? High-maintenance relationship. You know, phone rings, you can feel the hair go up on the back of your head, right? Because you don't know what's coming, except you know you're going to be asked to drop everything and get something done. Now, you don't know what it is. You can't prepare for it. You can't qualify to do it well. You may not even like to do it. The only thing you know is once you get it done, wait 5 minutes, the phone will ring, you will be asked to do something else, and the cycle will repeat. Now, is it Cameron? Jeff? Unless you're some kind of a masochist, you got out of that relationship, didn't you? And the moment you did, didn't your life change? Didn't you finally discover that the sun was brighter, the air was sweeter, food tasted better? It was, and why? Well, because all of a sudden you were master in your own domain, weren't you? All of a sudden you controlled your most valuable commodity, time. And now, instead of spending your time doing what someone else wanted you to do, even though you didn't like it, even though you weren't good at it, now you spent your time doing the things that you got excited about, the things you get passionate about, because you like them and because you were good at them. And all of a sudden, your life did a phenomenal change because instead of spending your precious commodity doing somebody else's bidding, you are now doing the things you love, the things you do with expertise, and you are doing them all the time. That's a formula for happiness, isn't it? Why would it be any different with our businesses? If you think about why we get into business, it's not just to make money, although that's an honorable profession. I love making money. But we got into business to be independent. We got into business to be masters of our domain. We got into business because we were tired of doing somebody else telling us what to do and things we didn't like to do. And that's why we started our own store instead of went to work in big box or went to work in a chain. Because we had a different sense of service, a different sense of community, a different sense of contribution. But we lose all of that when we don't manage the economics of our business properly. Not all volume is good business. What do you do if you can't put the brakes on prices? What do you do if prices are falling and it's falling as a result of things quite beyond your control, like the current recession? In fact, I should tell you, according to Consumer Reports, this survey was just released last month, when they asked consumers, what behaviors have you undertaken in the last 12 months to deal with the recession that you now feel will become a permanent part of your behavioral makeup? The number one answer, 48% of the population said, I will not spend as much money. Another 35% said, I will reduce discretionary expenditures. Now, the question I have to ask you is, are you a discretionary service or are you an essential service? Well, the question, I guess, is it may be an essential service, but the real question is it essential to get it from you versus getting it from somebody else? See, prices fall under only one condition, and that is this. Nobody ever paid more for something they could get elsewhere for less. Very simple rule. Nobody ever paid more for something they can get elsewhere for less. Are you doing things to justify or to put the brakes on price? Or are you simply letting the consumer define you to be a commodity service provider? Because the whole concept here of value is value the new black. The so-called frugalistas. All of a sudden being ostentatious, the conspicuous consumption that we saw in the 80s and 90s and first part of this century, all of a sudden it seems to be going out the window, doesn't it? I mean, the car company that had the greatest increase in sales during a recession was Hyundai. Hyundai grew 12 to 15%. And why shouldn't they? It's a relatively inexpensive car. They had the great insight of providing job loss insurance, right? A low-cost car targeted at the blue-collar employee who could lose their job. Here was a guarantee. You lose your job within a year, we take the car back. No financial penalty to you. Makes sense, doesn't it, that Hyundai would grow? So then explain to me how BMW becomes the second fastest car growth, and how Hyundai becomes third and Mercedes-Benz becomes fourth. Are people buying in these surveys? No. Not according to the sales reps on the floor, because they tell us you can see the customer doing the calculations in their mind. I can buy this car for $20,000 and it lasts 3 years, net cost $67.50 a year. Or I can buy this car for $30,000 and it lasts me 5 years, net cost $6,000 a year. I'm actually better off economically because quality pays, doesn't it? Because you get what you pay for, so to speak. And all of a sudden, the consumer is becoming a lot more attuned to the notion best value does not mean lowest price, unless we give them no choice.